Hey everyone, in today's video I'll be showing you how to set up Parcel Tracker's multi-mailroom workflow for university campuses. This feature is built for institutions where parcels move through different departments or buildings before reaching the final recipient. In many bigger universities, couriers might deliver to a main mailroom, and from there internal couriers might need to distribute parcels to residence halls, different campus buildings, student collection points, or even staff and faculty buildings. Due to the high volume nature of deliveries at universities and so many internal touchpoints, it can become difficult to maintain a clear chain of custody and ensure that students and staff receive accurate updates. Parcel Tracker aims to speed up the intake process and maintain accountability and visibility at every step. Parcel Tracker works with universities like Christchurch College and the University of York, and you can check out their case studies in the description below. By the end of this tutorial, your parcel management workflow should look something like this. Parcel arrives to the mailroom. I can scan parcels with my phone camera using the Parcel Tracker mobile app. From the In tab, we'll press Check-in and hold the camera over the label, then press and hold the button to pick up the name and the barcode. We can add tags, assign the parcel a storage location, add notes, and Parcel Tracker auto-extracts images from the scan, but we can add additional photos if needed. I can do this for multiple parcels in a row. Press Save to add the parcel to your cart and continue scanning. This is my second parcel label. Again, we'll press and hold the button to pick up the name and the barcode. If the app fails to do both, it'll pick up the name first and then prompt you to scan the barcode. We can add tags, assign the parcel a storage location, add notes, and get additional photos if needed. Press Save once more to add the parcel to your cart. First, select the recipient, then select them from the list or search for them. If the parcel has a barcode, then you can scan it, but you can also add a manual identifier instead. Press the pen icon in the lower left corner, and you can add a manual identifier, or you can press the dice to create a randomly generated one. We recommend marking this number on the parcel. Press the check mark to create the log, and then add tags, storage location, notes, and a photo of the parcel. Press Save again to add the parcel to your cart. When you're done scanning, open the cart in the lower right corner, and then press Check-in. Those parcels will now be checked in. If you have an internal courier who can move parcels between sites, he can do so within the app. The internal courier will go to the Move tab, select Pickup, select the site where he's picking up the parcels from, and then he can either scan the labels or select them from the cart. The internal courier will press Pickup. Those parcels will be marked as handled, and the internal courier will see where those parcels need to go. Once he's reached the destination building, he'll select Drop Off. And again, he can either scan the parcel labels or select them from the cart. And then he'll press Move and select the site where he's dropping off the parcels to. Those parcels will now be signed in that building. The internal courier can also deliver parcels directly to the end recipient. After picking up the parcel, he'll select Drop Off, and he can either scan the parcel label or select it from the cart, and then he'll press Drop Off. He can get a signature to confirm delivery. He can also add notes and a photo of the person collecting the parcel. Then he can press Complete Checkout. That parcel will now be signed out. Let's go back to the two parcels or move to a different site. When a parcel is signed in, the recipient will automatically receive a notification with a QR code to collect their parcel. The recipient will need to present this QR code to collection staff, and from there we can go to the Out tab, select Checkout, first scan the recipient's QR code, and then scan the parcel that they're going to collect, or select it from the cart. Then we'll press checkout. We can optionally add a signature, notes, and a photo of the person collecting the parcel. And then when you're done, press complete checkout. Those parcels will now be signed out. The first step would be to create your Parcel Tracker account, and to do that, just go to parceltracker.com and select Start for Free to create your free account. For universities that want to use the multi-mailroom feature, you first need to avail of the Pro plan, but don't worry because once you sign up, you'll have a 14-day free trial of the Pro plan. Here's what your dashboard will look like when you sign in. Before anything else, I want to show you how you can customize your account, and to do that, go to Settings. And you'll be able to edit your company name, add your company logo, and even add your address if needed. To edit your company name, just enter the new one. And to upload your logo, click on Upload Logo. Select the file from your device. You can crop the image. And when you're happy with the changes, click Save Changes. While we're here, there's a specific feature that I want to enable, so let's go to Features under Configurator. And I want to enable additional parcel details. This feature allows us to assign parcel tags, assign it a storage location, and even get a wider photo of the parcel so that we know what it looks like. This feature can help mailroom staff and receptionists stay organized even as more parcels come throughout the next coming days. It also helps prevent parcels from going missing. Once that's done, I can finally configure the rest of my account. Since we're using the multi-mailroom workflow, I first want to set up my sites, so to do that, let's go back to the dashboard and click on Sites. I want you to think of each site as a different delivery point within the university. This can include the main mailroom, a receiving center, or specific buildings around the campus, such as faculty buildings or residence halls. To add a site, click on Add Site. Enter the name and any of these optional details. To edit a site's information, hover over the name and then click Open. Parcel Tracker will automatically save the changes. You can also click on the little box next to the site to delete it if needed. Once these sites are created, Parcel Tracker will allow you to scan parcels from the main mailroom and then route them to different buildings. Parcel Tracker logs each handoff, and this way you'll have full visibility as to where items are as they move through the university. The next step would be to upload my recipients, so let's go to Recipients. And I can either bulk upload recipients using a CSV list, or I can add them in individually. The reason why we want to upload a recipient list first is because Parcel Tracker will use this information to match parcels to the correct recipient and notify them at the same time. Parcel Tracker can now read labels for recipients who don't currently exist, and will give you the option to create a new one. However, it's best to start with the recipient list first so that you can quickly scan in parcels without having to stop and add a new recipient for each one. First, you want to acknowledge any concerns regarding data security. Parcel Tracker is ISO certified, GDPR compliant, and we regularly undergo penetration testing and third-party security audits. If you want to request any of our certificates, you can go to parceltracker.com/trust-center. To bulk upload recipients, click on Import List. And you can either download a template which you can fill in, or you can select an existing file from your device. Here's what that template looks like. There are some optional fields, but the most important ones you'll need will be the recipient's first name, their last name, their email. The reason why we need their email is because Parcel Tracker uses this as the primary notification platform. And finally, their location. In a university, this can be a room number in lecture halls, or specific offices and faculty buildings. Recipients in this use case may include students and even staff members who are receiving their personal parcels at the university, and it can also include staff members who are ordering supplies for the university. Since we're using the multi-mailroom workflow, we also want to fill in our site, an additional site. For each recipient, the site will be the building where they're going to receive the parcel in. So for students, it could be a residence hall, and for staff members, it could be the faculty building. The additional site should always be the main touchpoint for parcels, which in this case is the main mailroom. If I have internal couriers who can deliver parcels directly to the end recipient, I can also fill in drop-off location. The drop-off location can be the same as the recipient's location, and it organizes parcels for the courier so that they know where a parcel needs to go. You can also leave this blank if it's not needed. Here's my sample recipient CSV list. You'll see I have a mix of students and staff with their respective sites, as well as the main mailroom listed under additional site. When your CSV list is ready, you will select Browse File, select the file from your device, tick the box that says you have permission to upload the data, and click Continue. Make sure that each column is mapped out to the correct property, and here's an example of when I encountered an error. In this example, unit which I used to define room numbers was not recognized as a location, so all I had to do was select the correct property, and in this case it would be the location. When you're done, click Continue. Review the data. You can even make any last-minute changes from here. And when you're satisfied, click Continue. And finally, upload the data. Parcel Tracker will show you if there are any errors during the process, if there were any duplicate recipients, or if any recipient data was updated from an old CSV list. So now let's view all recipients. And we'll see that they've been added. Since ID and alias are empty, we can hide them. Just hover over the field, click these 3 dots, and then click Hide. Next, I'm going to show you how to upload recipients individually. Let's say that you have a new student or staff member who's joined in the middle of the year, and you want to add them to the Parcel Tracker account so they can start receiving parcels at the university. We'll click on Add Recipient, enter the necessary details. Don't forget to fill in their site as their respective building, and of course their additional site as the main touchpoint or the main mailroom. When you're done, you can click Add and create another to add a new recipient, or Add to close the window. We also have an Active Directories integration so that you can sync your student and staff data with your university directory. The next step would be to set up my scanning devices. Since Parcel Tracker is a mobile app, I can use a phone or a tablet. Apple or Android will both work, but for best performance, we recommend at least an iPhone SE or an Android with 6GB of RAM and a 2.8 GHz processor. You can have this on a designated building device, or you can have staff download the app onto their personal phones. And if so, you can add them in as Mailroom users. To do that, we'll go to Settings, click on Mailroom Users, and then click Invite User. Enter the necessary details. You can also set their permission levels and site access. If you just want this person to be able to scan in and scan out parcels and maybe add and edit recipients, then invite them as normal. But if you want them to have more control over the sites and Parcel Tracker's features, then invite them as admin. Mailroom operations managers typically have access to all sites, but if, let's say, that this person is a receptionist in charge of only a specific building, then you can select just that building to reduce confusion. When you're done, click Send, and this person will receive an invite to become a user on your account. The next step would be to configure my tags, so let's go to Tags under the configurator. You'll see that Parcel Tracker already has some default tags, but you can add more as needed. As mentioned prior, when you scan in a parcel through Parcel Tracker, you'll be able to assign it a tag. You can use more general tags like fragile and high value, or you can use routing tags for maybe department buildings or specific residence halls. You can add as many tags as you want. Just click on Add Tag, enter the name, and then you can even select a color so that it's easier to see. Next, let's set up our storage locations. Storage locations can look different depending on your building's workflow, but with this feature you can really narrow it down to each shelf, each aisle, each row, each locker if you use lockers, to make it easier to locate parcels when the recipient is ready to collect. You can customize storage locations for different sites, and to do that, just click on this top bar and select the site that you want to edit. To add a location, click on Add Location, enter the name, and then click Save and Add Another to add a new one, or Save to close the window. The final step would be to set up my recipient notifications, so let's go to Inbound Notifications here at the bottom. On the left bar, you'll see a list of all of your sites. This is useful if you need to configure custom notifications for each one. In the center, you'll see a table of all of your active notifications, from its name, the type of notification, which channels it's active in, and which sites it's used in. First, let's see how to add your branding to a notification, and to do that, click on Global Style. You can even set the logo size, and you can even customize the background and accent colors to match your branding. When you're happy with the changes, click Update. All notifications will now inherit this style. Next, let's look at customizing notifications. Parcel Tracker has 4 types of notifications. Check-in and check-out notifications are on by default. As mentioned prior, when a parcel is scanned in through Parcel Tracker, recipients will automatically receive a notification telling them to collect their parcel, and that's our check-in notification. A checkout notification is basically a confirmation email telling a recipient that they've successfully collected their parcel. Reminders can be set so that recipients pick up their parcels in a more timely manner. You can also enable welcome emails for recipients who have recently been added to your Parcel Tracker directory. And finally, move in and move out notifications are triggered whenever a parcel is moved in or out of a site. Let's try editing one of our default templates. Hover over the field and click Open. On the right, you'll see a preview of what the notification will look like. And on the left, you'll be able to edit the contents of the message. So you can change the template's name. You can enter a completely new message. And you can add or remove any of these variables. You can also enable advanced parcel details, and this will show the recipient things like notes, who the courier was, and when their package arrived. When you're happy with the changes, press Submit, and this will update your template. To create a new template, click on Create Template. Select the template you want to create. Let's say that I want to create a reminder email. Again, you'll be able to customize the contents of the message. You can add variables like the last name, enter a completely new message. And for reminders, you can even set a reminder delay and a maximum number of reminders. When you're happy with the changes, press Submit. You'll have successfully created the template, but it's not yet active in the site. And to do that, we'll click on Assign Template, select the template you want to enable, and you'll see that it's now been added. If you have multiple sites and you want to add a certain template to all of them, don't worry, you won't have to do it manually for each one. All you have to do is click on the 3 dots next to your desired template. Click Assign to Sites. And then you'll be able to select multiple sites, or all of them at once, or only specific sites. From this menu, you'll also be able to schedule, duplicate, and remove templates from your site. Next, let's look at scheduling templates. So click on these 3 dots and click Schedule. Scheduling can be done if you need a buffer between scanning in parcels and notifying the recipients. This can be useful for universities that get a high volume of deliveries every day and need all parcels to be signed in before you can accommodate collections. To set a schedule, click on Enable, select your delay, and then click Update. Now that everything is done, we're finally ready to start scanning into parcels. You're now looking at my phone screen, and I first want to show you where you can find Parcel Tracker on the iOS App Store or the Google Play Store. Whichever one you're on, go to Search, look for Parcel Tracker, select Parcel Tracker Mailroom, and this is the app that you want to download. Once installed, you can just sign in with your account details. Before we scan any parcels, I want to show you these 5 tabs. The first one is In, which is what you'll use to scan in parcels, Out to sign out parcels, Move to move parcels between different sites, Manage to manage parcels, recipients, and users, and Settings to access our live chat support, our online knowledge base, and configure the features and scanning mode. I moved my phone screen to the right so that I can show you a flowchart of where parcels are currently at in your workflow. And when parcels arrive at the mailroom and you're ready to sign them in, we'll press Check In. Hold the camera over the label, press and hold the button to pick up the name and the barcode. Since we enabled additional parcel details earlier, we'll be able to assign the parcel tags, assign it the storage location. We can also add notes. And Parcel Tracker auto-extracts images from the scan, but you can add additional photos if needed. Just press on this image. And then you can either take a photo or select one from your gallery. Let's just take a photo as normal. You can do this for multiple parcels in a row. And when you're done adding in all the details, press Save to add the parcel to your cart and continue scanning. This is my second parcel label. Again, we'll press and hold the button to pick up the name and the barcode. If the app fails to do both, it'll scan the name first and then prompt you to scan the barcode. So now let's try rescanning the barcode. You can also add a manual identifier if needed, but I'll show you how to do that later instead. Then again, we can add tags, assign the parcel a storage location, add notes, and get additional photos of the parcel. And when you're done, press Save. This adds the parcel to your cart, and then you can keep scanning. Next, I want to show you how you can add parcels in via manual input. This is useful if the label is unscannable for any reason. Start by selecting the recipient. You can either search for the recipient or you can select them from the list. And then if the parcel has a barcode, then you can scan it. But if it doesn't, you'll be able to add a manual identifier. And to do that, click on this little pen icon in the left corner. And you can add your own identifier, or you can press this dice to create a randomly generated one. We recommend marking this number on the parcel so that you can scan it later. And when you're done, press the check mark. This creates a new log, and then you'll be able to add tags, assign a storage location, notes, and of course add a photo of the parcel. When you're done, press save. This again adds the parcel to your cart, and now let's say that you're done scanning in all the parcels. Let's open our cart. You'll see a preview of all the parcels you've scanned in. If you need to make any changes to a parcel's details, or if you need to delete one, then swipe left. And when you're done, press check-in. Those parcels will now be signed in. Next, I want to show you how you can move parcels between sites. Let's say that from the main mailroom, you have an internal courier who can deliver parcels to different buildings like my residence halls, my East Campus building, my faculty buildings, so that recipients can collect from those designated collection points. My internal courier will go to the Move tab, select Pickup, select the site where he's picking up the parcels from, and then he can either scan the parcel labels or he can select them from the cart. And when that's done, he'll press Pickup. Those parcels that have been picked up by an internal courier will now be marked as handled. And if you added drop-off locations, your internal courier will see where those parcels need to go. From here, there are two things that your internal courier can do. The first one is that he can either leave those parcels at their designated buildings. So for example, if he's going to a residence hall, he can simply drop it off at the package room there, and then recipients can collect from there later on. And the second one is that he can deliver directly to the end recipient. I'll show you how he can move those parcels first. When my internal courier has reached his destination, he'll select drop off, and then he can either scan the parcel labels or select them from the cart. Let's select both of Isaac's parcels, and then we'll press move. Then select the site where he's moving the parcels to. That's the East Campus building, and then we'll press confirm. You'll see that the number of our handled parcels has dropped to 1 because he's already dropped off 2 of the parcels. If we go to the East Campus building, to do that, go to Settings, and then switch site. Choose where you want to go, and then press confirm. We'll see that we have 2 parcels checked in, and those are actually the parcels that our internal courier has just dropped off. Next, I'll show you how your internal courier can deliver directly to the end recipient. Again, we'll go to the Move tab, and then select drop off. Then again, he can either scan the parcel label or select it from the cart. And instead of move, he'll press drop off. He'll need to get a signature to confirm delivery. And he can also add notes and a photo of the person collecting the parcel. Then he'll press complete checkout. That parcel will now be signed out. Now let's go back to the 2 parcels that were moved by internal courier. Again, when a parcel is signed in, the recipient will receive a QR code which they can use to collect their parcel. You'll see that I have mine right here. And now we'll say that Isaac is ready to collect his parcels from the reception or the package room. He'll need to present this QR code to collection staff, and from there we'll go to the Out tab. Select Checkout. First scan the QR code. Then scan the parcel that he's going to collect, or select it from the cart, and then press Checkout. Since a QR code was used, we don't need to add a signature, but you can still add one if needed. And we can also add notes and a photo of the person collecting the parcel. And when you're done, press Complete Checkout. Those parcels will now also be signed out. You can also sign out parcels through the Parcels tab, and to do that, go to Parcels. Hover over the parcel you need to sign out and click Open. And then press Checkout Parcel. You can add notes, and a signature to confirm delivery. When you're done, press collect. This signs the parcel out and ends the flow. You can also facilitate self-service collections through the Parcel Tracker kiosk app. Let's say that your site has a package room for self-service collections. You'll need to assign a device with the kiosk app installed, and from there, recipients can scan their QR codes on the kiosk, select their parcels, and then sign them out. Earlier, I mentioned that you can track parcel movements as they move throughout the campus, so let's open one of Isaac's parcels. And here on the right, you'll see a full timeline from when the parcel was first checked in, when it was checked out of the main mailroom and signed into the East Campus building, and when it was finally collected. One more tab I think you'll find really helpful is our Statistics tab. So let's go to Statistics. From this tab, you'll be able to see information like your peak check-in and checkout times, your top couriers, as well as your average parcel turnaround time. Since this is a new account, we don't have a lot of data here yet, but I'll show you guys an example of what this page will look like once you've spent enough time with the software. Now I want to give you guys an example of how I would use these statistics to help me out in the mailroom. So let's say that my peak check-in and checkout times are between the hours of 8 AM to 10 AM. I can use this information to allocate more resources such as extra helping hands, parcel trolleys to accommodate the intake of new parcels, and even perform a parcel audit around 7 AM to make sure that there's enough space in my mailroom for new parcels. Average turnaround time refers to the amount of time it takes for a parcel to be collected after it's been signed in. If I notice that recipients have been leaving their parcels uncollected for too long, I can choose to enable reminders or make them more frequent so that my recipients pick up their parcels in a more timely manner. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Please let us know if you found this video helpful, which features you like best, and what features you'd like to see us add in the future. You can find our sign-up link in the description below, as well as our case studies to Christ Church College and the University of York. Subscribe to stay up to date, and I'll see you guys next time.